A lot of people out there default LeBron James as number 2. They've realized that there's no way that he's Michael Jordan, and they've just gone ahead and given him number 2. I have a problem with that, but you know what? People get to pick who they want to pick. But then I heard a few things recently that just finally made me feel like I had to say something.
Someone in particular who just so happens to be on my number 2 of all time NBA players.
What is happening?
I'm very confused.
I very much enjoyed his performance in the Olympics.
What is wrong with you people?
He was incredible.
What is happening?
He was a leader on and off the floor.
What's happening?
And there were multiple games Team USA would have lost had it not been for his effort.
Jesus Christ!
I know what you're saying. No, not Kamish. You can't pick on Kamish. All right, so let's not think of it in that way, because yes, there are millions of utterly brainless LeBron-worshipping people out there that I could focus on instead. But that's kind of the whole point. Why bother with those people? This is somebody that I actually respect as a creator. So this is a question. Why can't people let go? Just let go. He's not number 2. Why can't you let go? I can't believe that deep down, Kamish believes that LeBron is number 2. I mean, a significant portion of his content is showing exactly why he can't be number 2.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For so many reasons.
At that moment, I was like, I'm the greatest basketball player people have ever seen.
Please welcome to the stage, the GOAT, respectfully, LeBron James.
King me.
In my opinion, it's showing why he can't be number 20. When I think about putting together a montage of LeBron's embarrassing behavior, I immediately feel overwhelmed. Because I think, okay, which wing of the 10-story building of archival footage shall I start in? Let's go down memory lane. Here's one segment of one short video I did 2 years ago. But LeBron got fucking sniped from the stadium again. This is the problem with LeBron. Even if his leg broke, don't make that face, you. All right, so back to present day. And I've obviously spent a lot of time thinking about this. And the more time I spend looking back on it, the more I realize he's nowhere near a conversation about being one of the best. He quit on his team, on the floor, in the playoffs in 2010. He did it in front of everyone. I remember it. I remember watching it live. Forget that after quitting on his team and the city that he supposedly loved, forget that the next thing he did was a cowardly, self-centered, self-promoting team-up of other stars in an already weak Eastern Conference. Forget that that cowardly move that should have guaranteed him success still resulted in failure. Forget that there is irrefutable video evidence showing that he was the reason that the Heat didn't win against someone they absolutely should have won against. That failure alone, he should have had to win 10 titles by himself to redeem himself from that. Forget 2011. 2010's behavior alone took him out of the conversation. Ever since then, we as a society, as basketball fans, as sports fans, have been treated to a buffet of excuses explaining why someone who fails all the time can still be considered the greatest. And if you bought into that, then shame on you, no matter who you are, even if you're someone that I consider to be an intelligent, clever creator. Shame on you. Grow up and get over it. You were lied to. Oh, he had some great games. What NBA player can't you say that about? It bothers me. I mean, even the things that Commissioner lists on several of his videos, the flopping, the whining, the lack of humility.
It's gotten to the point that the one championship doesn't justify the multiple years of failure and circus play from the Lakers. His excuses, passive aggressiveness, and flopping irritates me to no end.
Why? Why do you try so hard? This is not something you're supposed to have to try. This is just supposed to be clear based on visual evidence. LeBron James took himself out of the GOAT debate a long time ago. And a lot of the people that have a hard time letting go of that, you know, they had to let go and put LeBron at number 2. Those sorts of people probably have a lot of nostalgia based on LeBron James being the guy when they, at their young, impressionable ages, were starting to get into the NBA. LeBron James is nowhere near number 2. I'm sorry, he's not. And there's a one-word reason. Principle. Just based on principle, you can't have LeBron James as number 2. So that's what makes it super, super disturbing. Not just intolerable, but actually disturbing that he comes on TV and says that he's never been a flopper or part of a flopping team.
Seriously, I need to learn how to do that.
I mean, you actually legitimately wonder how far gone into his own world he is.
You lie so much you believe yourself. Arrogance and ignorance go hand in hand.
Which then makes you wonder how far gone his fans are. What's wrong with his wrist? Why is he reaching for his wrist? Did he hurt it shoving off of Jokic? Too strong, says the guy that Rich Paul approved to announce for the Olympic team. Did you see the foul? Did not stop the king of insecurity from engaging in his insecure antics, but that's what his fans like. No foul, no problem. We all live in delusional land.
He was a leader on and off the floor.
What's happening?
Honestly, Commish, what are you talking about? Are you listening to Dwayne Wade and Noah LaClutch Eagle?
The leadership of LeBron James is so clear when you observe this team. You can see it on the sidelines as he commands attention in the huddles.
Jesus Christ!
No, seriously enough. How many people had to watch the Olympics with the sound off because of the never-ending lines being sent over from Rich Paul? Non-stop LeBron until the brainwashed minions at home finally say, oh, I guess he is great. LeBron James showed up at practice. You can tell he really cares about Team USA. I mean, what are you talking about? Because this guy's putting on a drama show, knowing that the cameras are there filming the LeBron James documentary? You know, the focus on LeBron James when it's supposed to be about the Olympics. He's putting on a show. He's making noise. That's not leadership. Or maybe you're talking about him yelling at the poor little kid, the poor fan. Or maybe you're talking about him crowning himself or shoulder shrugging or charging the refs even in the Olympics. Maybe you're talking about the flagrants, getting away with flagrants in the Olympics, shoving a guy who's already lost his feet when you're nowhere near the actual play. He's not even making a basketball play.
And there were multiple games Team USA would have lost had it not been for his efforts.
What is happening right now? Where are you getting this?
Throw a question out for anyone willing to play. You see that there are 4 offensive players there for Team USA. If I were to bet you $10,000 that I could name who the guy who's missing is, would you take that bet? I mean, without even watching the game. I'd just tell you, hey, one of the American players isn't over there with the rest of them. Who do you think it is? No, you wouldn't, because you know the answer too. And there he is on the other side of the court, waiting for the team that does not need him to score.
Beat Curry again. Bullseye.
And there were multiple games Team USA would have lost had it not been for his efforts.
What's happening?
I'm going to go ahead and ask you to submit some evidence to the court on that one. Which games would you be talking about exactly? The South Sudan games that never should have been that close in the first place? The games where the second string always had to come in and dig the first string? LeBron's string out of early holes? Are you talking about the games where LeBron James led the team in turnovers? Oh, wait, that was all of them. Are you talking about the games where LeBron James led the team in shots attempted despite not leading the team in points? Yeah. He was the difference maker in those.
Back, short, rebound, Curry.
Had it not been for his efforts. Had it not been for his efforts.
What is happening?
Maybe it was grinding the offense to a halt and then passing at some point. So maybe you're talking about him getting 90% of his points from open, uncontested dunks, just like he does with the Lakers. We interrupt the previous program to bring you another episode of LeBron James's Help Without the Help. Boy, they almost interrupted his nap there. Oh, man. I had a nice full sequence there, and I had to chop it up because of a copyright strike. But I assure you, this picks right back up where I left off. Get an uncontested dunk and shrug afterwards. And if you... Did you hear what I said? Look at this again, in reverse. No one on the other team cares enough to come within a football field of guarding LeBron James. Somehow, a task that Jason Tatum was not qualified for. No. That was reserved for the MVP.
He was a leader.
Ah, but you're wrong.
So just call it disappointment. And you can only be disappointed in someone if you had any sort of expectations for somebody. Because there's no way that those of you who watch both of our channels didn't hear those words and cringe. So it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, most of these people out here I have zero expectations for. And the people that I do think highly of, I expect them to criticize me. I don't expect us to all think the exact same thing. But something like this, I feel compelled to talk about. LeBron James defaulting to number 2 needs to be called out. All of those weird, unfounded Olympic compliments, those need to be called out. He sounded like Draymond Green right after he signed with Clutch Sports. My take on the Olympics is that the games wouldn't have been as close as they were if there hadn't been this agenda requiring LeBron James to be played as much as he was played. I mean, I'm sitting here breaking down these Olympic games and inserting quotes from La Media, and when some of Kamish's quotes would fit in there as someone that I would make fun of for saying stupid things, then there's a problem. There's reason to be concerned. You want to talk about going back and remembering things as you saw them, things that occurred live. I remember LeBron James quitting on Cleveland. The first time he was in Cleveland, I watched it happen. He couldn't be in the GOAT debate from then on, as far as I was concerned. And then not only did he do that, he took the cowardly route to try and continue forward in his career. He couldn't handle the brave route. I can't put anyone who takes the cowardly route as a number 2. And then, even after taking the cowardly route, it still wasn't enough. He still failed. No, you can't be number 2. And it's been what feels like a lifetime of failures since then, piling on top of this manure mound that is LeBron James. Yeah, he had some successes scattered in there, successes that I consider rather questionable. Even if you took away the questions surrounding his so-called achievements, and there are a lot of questions around them, that still isn't enough to get him past all the despicable things that he's done. He's nowhere near number 2. And yes, I have higher expectations for people who are clearly intelligent. There's intelligence behind cleverness. So yes, I expect more from some of these YouTube creators. Principle.